Buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es Gemma Esteban, soy directora de Red de Conocimiento de Telefónica. Entre mis responsabilidades está liderar la relación con analistas de la industria especializados en nuestro sector, tanto para nutrir a Telefónica con las últimas tendencias, análisis y datos del sector, como para actualizar a los analistas acerca de nuestros productos, servicios, estrategia y todo lo que tenga que ver con nuestra compañía por ser líder del sector mundial. Antes de nada, me gustaría dar la enhorabuena a Silvia, a Daniela, al equipo por el workshop, darles las gracias por la invitación y agradecer la presencia de 5 analistas que tenemos hoy aquí de diferentes casas de IDC, de Obum, de Analysys Mason y Verdantix, que han venido desde fuera, incluso desde Estados Unidos, para estar con nosotros y escuchando y compartiendo con todos vosotros la agenda que tenemos tan interesante de hoy. En los próximos 20 minutos voy a compartir con todos vosotros, por un lado, por qué los analistas del sector consideran la cuestión verde o sostenibilidad, como les gusta mejor llamarlo, cada vez más importante, cuáles son las tendencias que ellos predicen, así como el reconocimiento que Telefónica tiene entre ellos acerca de este tema. Para la mayoría de los analistas de la industria, la sostenibilidad, como se ha comentado ya esta mañana, para nuestro sector, el sector TIC global, se compone de 2 variables que van intrínsecamente unidas. Por un lado, la eficiencia y, por otro lado, el crecimiento. Curiosamente, estas 2 palancas o estos 2 pilares son precisamente los 2 pilares de la estrategia de Telefónica y en la que muchos de los agentes del sector están actualmente embarcados, ¿no? Por un lado, en la parte de eficiencia, y como ya se ha comentado en muchas ocasiones por la mañana, Gartner, por ejemplo, predice que los ahorros en gastos de energía pueden suponer entre un 2,3 y un 8,7% del OPEX total de todo el sector de telecomunicaciones mundial, lo cual es extremadamente significativo, sobre todo teniendo en cuenta los momentos en que estamos en crisis económica mundial, de reducción de costes y en donde la eficiencia de los recursos son 2 prioridades para todas las compañías de telecomunicaciones y del resto de sectores. En cuanto a crecimiento, otro de los analistas que nos acompaña hoy, Obum Data Monitor, dice que los proveedores de soluciones IT verdes que ya están adoptando o están proveyendo soluciones de sostenibilidad a sus clientes han experimentado un crecimiento en sus ventas en los 2 últimos años. Los agentes del sector TIC o ICT, entre los que se encuentra trabajando activamente Telefónica, son clave en el papel de la transformación de las ciudades, por ejemplo, ayudando a sectores estratégicos como el de la energía a la introducción de nuevas tecnologías y aplicaciones y redes eficientes que ayuden a ser, si me permitís la palabra, más smart o más inteligentes, ¿no? Aquí es clave, como también ha comentado Silvia y Alberto esta mañana, es súper importante conseguir el consenso de la industria, no solamente para la estandarización de los conceptos, el concepto green o el concepto sostenibilidad, sino para la estandarización de los KPIs o de los indicadores de seguimiento y para aunar las distintas iniciativas, así como también se ha comentado esta mañana que las alianzas y los partnerships entre los distintos actores son clave, como después vais a ver en los stands que están preparados. Pero ¿desde cuándo la sostenibilidad es un elemento clave para, en este caso, lo que es mi expertise, que son los analistas, ¿no?, de la industria? ¿Desde cuándo ellos están y se está trabajando en la industria como un hot topic? 2007 marcó un punto de inflexión para los conceptos green. Se empezaba ya a manejar el término, mientras que en 2008 se produjo una aceleración del debate, de la innovación y de la exploración acerca de cómo IT y de cómo las tecnologías podrían tener un papel relevante en la lucha contra el cambio climático. Durante 2009 y 2010, empujado por la crisis económica mundial en la que todos nos vemos inmersos actualmente, definitivamente creemos que se estableció como una clara oportunidad para el ahorro de costes para las organizaciones y ya se ha sentado como un hot topic de la industria. Los analistas que están aquí presentes y muchos otros consideran ya green y sostenibilidad como una parte importante de su investigación, con grandes recursos dedicados, porque creemos que ya esto se ha convertido no solamente en una cuestión de reputación y de marca, sino en una prioridad de negocio, ¿no? Los analistas también nos dicen que aunque ahora mismo todos los esfuerzos de las organizaciones, y como hemos podido comprobar durante toda la mañana, están centrados en la energía, las emisiones de CO2 y la eficiencia, esto evolucionará en los próximos de 5 a 10 años, de forma que las soluciones a los asuntos de clima y sostenibilidad medioambiental conllevarán necesariamente grandes innovaciones tecnológicas que en muchos casos van a estar basadas en nuestro sector, que van a ir promovidas por las comunicaciones y por las tecnologías. Precisamente hoy hemos invitado a uno de los analistas mundiales más relevantes en temas de sostenibilidad. Su nombre es Vernon Turner. Él es Senior Vice President de Investigación de Infraestructura Residencial y Telecomunicaciones de la firma IDC. Viene de Estados Unidos precisamente para estar con nosotros hoy. Y me gustaría invitarle, Mr. Turner, would you like to come with us? And I would like to, me gustaría que él se uniera a nosotros durante 5 minutos para comentar su visión, puesto que ellos son expertos en este tema, han estado en Copenhague el año pasado y me gustaría que él pudiera comentar. Would you like to comment about your vision on the sustainability and your work, your research?
Thank you.
Please.
So we've run an annual survey now for 4 years, and we got into the green IT research back in 2005 rather, because we realized that as you build IT infrastructures, the cost alone of running those infrastructures was becoming a major problem for CIOs, customers who were buying services within the business units, and the suppliers themselves. And as you can see, we literally just finished a most recent survey, which ironically confirms a lot of the things you've heard this morning. One of the fascinating things that we have seen in the last 5 years is that the cost of energy is by far the #1 reason why customers look at doing any projects built around sustainability. Now, what you see in the slides here are a little comparison between Spain and United Kingdom, a little bit of rivalry perhaps, but at the same time, it confirms that despite the notion that where the green IT and sustainability is the same around the world, it really isn't. And you have to look at it on a local basis of what the opportunities are. So, for example here, don't get too hung up on the magnitude of the percentages, but you can see clearly that in Spain, the cost of energy, 51% of our respondents in Spain said the leading reason why we're going to do green IT and sustainability projects is because of the cost of energy. Let me just put that in a little bit of context for you. In 2009, the cost of energy to run hardware was almost 70% of the cost of the actual hardware itself. By 2011, we think that crossover, where it will be more expensive to run the hardware on an annualized basis than it is to actually buy the hardware. So if you're looking at the fact that you think that the infrastructure is cheap to acquire, that's a really, really wrong impression to do that. That's one mistake that you shouldn't make. The other 2 points I want to make here is if you look at the growth in the infrastructure and the growth in data, it really tells us that if you look at the connected home, the connected devices and the connected world, that we should really be staying ahead of that trend. That means that the operations and the structure needed to run those operations are going to be really, really important because you're going to have more devices. Content that's being generated, you can see that's really important, the growth in storage data, video, and that content. So I would say that up front, those 3 things are fairly important to keep your eye on over the next 2 or 3 years. Now, the interesting thing for us is who understands the cost of energy? And You know, we've always talked about who pays the bill, and invariably when you ask the customers, surprisingly how few of them actually know who pays the bill. And what we try to demonstrate here is we broke it down into 3 categories. Is it the CFO, is it the CIO, or is it the actual facilities or building managers themselves? And I would say that Spain shines above everybody else in terms of buying energy, or at least the CFO's office understands the cost of energy. What is surprising to us is the lack of insight that the CIO has of really understanding how much it's taking to run his or her environment. And therefore, if you think about this, if you're a CIO and you don't know how much the energy costs, how can you go back to the business units and talk about savings as a metric? And one of the reasons why we think it's really important is that every project that you undertake nowadays should have an energy component as part of the TCO. And the example I would share with you is that if you're embarking on virtualization, and everyone talks about the amount of reduction in servers or storage you have, part of that equation for the justification should be the energy savings as you reduce the complexity of that environment. And the CIO would really want to understand that. And then the last one is where do we see things going in the future? And this is really a leading indicator question that we ask our customers. You know, from their perspective, what do they see as priorities or initiatives that could really help them drive their energy reduction and energy savings? And again, I just picked 3 for the sake of discussion this morning. Obviously, electric vehicles. We heard a little bit this morning about the importance of electric vehicles. But I look at it as twofold. One is the complexity and the value that you can save by using energy vehicles inside the vehicles themselves means you're going to have a lot of intelligence. And if the energy source is electric, then obviously, as you know, you're going to have a fairly smart grid system and a build out. And what I find really, really interesting here is that if you look at locally in Spain compared to the UK, you clearly see that you're thinking about this as something that's very, very important, as a strong way, and perhaps answers some of the questions from earlier today about what technology is going to reduce greenhouse gases. And then the other 2 I find really, really interesting is because there's almost a compare and contrast. Not that Spain has a lower acceptance of smart metering. I think there's a broader understanding of smart metering locally. But what's really important for the Spanish market is that the customers are starting to say, okay, I know about smart metering, I know about smart grids. I really want to be able to put my finger on where that renewable energy source is coming from. So we expect to see an uptick in the management process of renewable energy. And in fact, if you were to extend the chart 2 or 3 bars out to the right, you would see that there's the management of the offices as the next biggest thing. So really what we see in the next 2 or 3 years, for us anyway, is this drive around management and the software and the managing that complexity. And what's really, really interesting is as you look around the globe, there are no simple solutions that tie one country to the next country. So if you're a multinational corporation and you're trying to get your hands around the whole management, it's not going to be easy for you, because you're going to have to actually manage discrete systems in the countries you're managing. So again, that could be a challenge or obstacle to be developing a global strategy. But at the same time, I think it's really important to say that finally we're getting our hands around what it is we're using in terms of the energy sources, and it'll be driven by the software over the next 2 or 3 years.